Hi, this is Chad at Slate Digital, and in this video I'm going to introduce you to our new plugin, Heatwave. Now Heatwave is a saturation type device, but it's not just a pure or straight saturator. It's actually a multi-band device that's employing different combinations of saturation, transient shaping, compression, and EQ, all with one primary goal in mind, and that is to enable you to add a little bit of grit and edge and presence to your sounds, but without compromising the transients. As you'll see in a moment, Heatwave is a really simple plugin to use, and you can immediately try this out yourself because Heatwave is available for free. So you can go to the slatedigital.com website and download and install this today and immediately put your hands on it and follow along. So let's dive into this together and take a look at how this plugin works. So in this project, I've got 4 loops loaded, drums, bass, and a couple guitars. Let's take a look at what Heatwave can do to each one of these loops. I'll start with the drums. And by default, Heatwave does nothing. So the first thing you want to do is go right for that big drive knob and turn it up. Ooh. So all the way up at 100, there's been a lot of crunch added to this loop. Let me bypass it. That was the original. Now width. Yeah, it's quite a bit. I want to pull this back a bit. Maybe not that far. Yeah, that feels about right. So it's definitely added that presence, right, without. Kind of dull, the original sound, and now with. Just kind of brings out those hi-hats and the top edges of the snare a little bit more, and also some of the background sounds that are happening are now a little more articulate. It's really nice. But one thing you might notice is that while the signal never passed 0 dBFS on the way in, it's now hitting +6 on the way out. This is just kind of one of the side effects of trying to keep those transient nice and clean. A lot of times this is not a problem because your DAW can actually handle signals that go above 0 dBFS. It's a floating point engine. But if you did want to control them, maybe you're more concerned about how those transients might affect things later in the mixing chain, you can go ahead and clip it off by enabling the clip here. And now the signal doesn't go above 0 dB, which is where we have this set essentially. Now the clip is coming after the main algorithm of Heatwave, but it's coming before the output trim knob. So that means if you turn this down, the signal will go down by the same amount, and you can see it's now clipping at essentially -2.8, which is where this is. So we did that to make sure that the sound that you create in combination with the drive and the clip doesn't change if you need to just adjust the output trim to level match. So that's the order of the signal: in, drive, clip, out. That's the way it goes. All right, well, let's move on to the bass here and see what this does. And yeah, again, let's just turn up the knob and see what we get. Oh yeah. So now we're getting a lot more of that mid-rangey attack. Like I can hear a lot more of the fretwork, and there's more of that edge to the picking going on. Here it starts to distort a bit, so I want to maybe pull that back a bit. Yeah, I like that. So without, sounds like this. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But there's another trick that you can do with Heatwave, right? So the drive knob is changing all sorts of things under the hood. It's changing transient shapers, compressor settings, saturation settings, EQ. It's a whole bunch of things. So not only is it like drive, but it's also sort of color, if you will. By boosting or reducing the level going into Heatwave, you can also change how it sounds. So for example, if I turn up the level going into the algorithm, we'll get a different sound. Oh yeah, now we're getting that kind of cool distorted sound. Yeah, but you'll notice as I turned up the in, the out also went up by a certain amount, and so it's now louder than it should be. So there's a little trick you can do. I'll double click to reset. if you hold the shift key on your keyboard while you turn up this knob, it will turn the output knob down by the same amount to help keep the gain, the overall output level in control. So here I can just turn this up back to the level where we were. So this is that same kind of sound, but now it's at the right level. So bypass, that's the original. I'll bring it back in. Yeah, it just brought more of the articulation and whatnot of the bass into play. Really cool. All right, well, let's keep going here. Let's check out the guitars next to it. Ooh, okay, so this one becomes apparent really fast. So now a lot of the clean pick work is coming through, and I mean, this wasn't a clean sound to begin with. There was already a little bit of subtle distortion, but even that distortion is coming through more clearly now with this turned up. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, without, it almost sounds dead. It almost sounds like the pick is made of rubber or something. Oh yeah, with it in there, now it becomes nice and clicky and staccato. It's really cool. All right, let's check the other guitar part. See what we got over here. Okay, so this is a more open guitar sound, but again, let's give it some drive. So it's a similar effect to what happened on the first guitar, but this guitar is quieter. So again, I'm going to give it a little bit of extra level going in. Cool, now I'm getting kind of a little bit of distortion on some of those upper notes when they hit. I kind of like that. Yeah, right there, that's nice. So without. With. Yeah, so just a little more character. So this is the entire mix together. And I have a hotkey set up. I'm going to push it on my computer keyboard, and when I do that, it's going to bypass all of the Heatwave simultaneously, and we'll hear the original song as it was without Heatwave. So that's the original sound. It's not bad. But with Heatwave, yeah, everything just kind of has a little more life to it now, a little more edge, and it's, yeah, I'm getting jazzed up for it. It's really cool. Now, we've been using Heatwave on individual sounds here, but you can also try it on buses or things like that. I mean, you know, the drums were obviously many sounds together, and it worked together on that, but you could even try it, for example, on the master, and just put the whole mix through the thing. So let's take a look at Heatwave here that's sitting on the master. Okay, yeah. So a little goes a long way here once everything's mixed together. Yeah, it's just a subtle change. I mean, I obviously used Heatwave quite a lot already on the other sounds, so I don't need a lot more of it now on the master mix, but you can hear it added a little bit of something to it. And one thing that's happening again is that we're getting some peaks on the way out. I can turn on clip, and then that'll keep everything down at 0 so it doesn't go over. Not bad for a free plugin. But we have another free plugin which you can check out. Heatwave is complemented by Fresh Air, and this one concentrates, kind of as you might imagine, on the upper frequencies. So I can maybe give it a little bit of high mid, even really high. Wow. Probably need to do a little bit of a level match here now. Feel like everything got louder. Okay, let's compare. Again, I'm going to bypass everything, so not only the heat waves, but Fresh Air and the Heatwave on the master will go away, and we'll be able to A/B how these two free plugins impacted this mix. Let's go ahead and take it out on the downbeat. I'll bring it back. Yeah, so what I like is that everything is now got a bit more presence and detail, but it's still tight and controlled, which I like. So this still sounds nice and finalized. It's a really great sound. And as you can see, just a couple tweaks of some knobs, maybe a couple button pushes, and you're there. So those are the ins and outs of Heatwave. Now, I hope you found the video informative, but of course the best way to really learn and understand anything is to try it out for yourself. So I encourage you to head on over to slatedigital.com where you can download Heatwave and Fresh Air both for free and try them out in your own music. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.